Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My dear sweet Islamic brothers and viewers of social media, let's recite salutations upon the beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. As-salatu was-salamu alayki ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. As-salatu was-salamu alayki ya Nabiyallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah. Nawaitu sunnatal i'tikaf. Excellence of reciting salutations upon the beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, a devotee of Allah Hazrat, Amir Ahl Sunnat, the founder of Dawateislami, Alama Maulana Abu Bilal Muhammad Ilyas Attar Qadri Rizvi Damat Barakatu Mu'aliya, has narrated a saying of the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam in his booklet Ziyai Durood Salam. The beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam has said, Jibreel told me that Allah Almighty has said, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, are you not pleased that anyone from your ummah send one salam, meaning one salutation upon you? I would send 10 salams upon him, meaning 10 mercies upon him. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Insha'Allah ta'ala, today's topic will be talking about the honored bride. So the honored bride, it mentions in this booklet, which is available from the website www.dawateislami.net. In Babul Islam, Sindh, wedding preparations were well underway in a house. The wish of the parents to get their daughter married was finally being fulfilled. The wedding procession along with the groom was due to come in the morning. The sisters were overjoyed. The house was beautifully decorated with lights like a bride. The ceremony of staying awake on the eve of marriage was held. An expensive outfit was prepared for the bride to wear on this night. Having got the bride ready, her friends had surrounded her, laughing and smiling. All of a sudden, the bride removed her head covering. The woman present in the room began to scream. Why were they screaming? The bride's face was changing. Her big red eyes were roaming over the room, and a strange voice was emanating from her throat. In no time, the bride's beautiful hair became stiff, turning into the shape of horns. Maybe this was the mischief of an evil jinn. The joy of wedding turned into sadness and fear. The wedding procession, along with the groom, was due to come into the morning, and the house was full of guests. The matter was temporarily covered up. Relatives insisted that the guest had arrived, so the bride should be brought to the stage. The mother and the sister of the bride were crying desperately, not knowing what to do. Someone advised the bride's brother to obtain a spiritual cure, meaning from the maktab of Tawizat Attariyyah of Amir Ahl Sunnat, Damat Barakatu Mu'aliya. Given for free at Fazar Medina, he immediately made contact to the office of Majlis Maktub or Tawizat Attariyyah, meaning Urad Attariyyah. Along with giving Tawizat Attariyyah, they also performed qat, meaning blessed water. Then the bride was made to wear the Tawizat, an amulet, and to drink the qat water, meaning spiritual water, and some qat water was splashed on her face, meaning her hair. Her condition began to improve. Astonishingly, her hair, which had turned into the shape of horrific horns, became normal again. Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jal. The entire household took a sigh of relief and began to make dua, supplication. Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jal. The second day, the bride was given away safe and sound. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Dear Islamic brothers, in the present era, the use of medication has become so vast. There is always a rush on hospitals and clinics, making an appointment with the GPs. People seek cure by using expensive medicine. And you know, nowadays, medicine is the market of making money. They see doctors and go to hospital even for a little problem. They believe in everything the doctor tells them. If the doctor asks them to use so and so thing, they use it blindly, following his advice and not bothering to consider whether the thing is haram or halal. If the doctor prevents them from keeping fasts, they even ignore faraid and wajibat. Without learning the relevant Shari rulings, undoubtedly it is permissible to seek medical advice from a believing doctor when necessary. But it is extremely regretfully we do not pay attention towards the simple cures offered by our Shariat. Besides using medicines, we should try spiritual cures with firm belief provided by Sharia, following exorcists. Some people obtain the Tawizat but want to see its effect instantly. The same people continue to use the medicine prescribed by doctors for months, and even if the medicine produces no effect, usually people change the doctor and start talking another similar medicine with a different name and continue to do so for months. Even if not cured, they do not get disappointed. On the other hand, those using Tawizat or requesting someone to pay for them soon lose hope, getting disappointed and giving up the spiritual cure, which is a very sad fact. Remember, there are different kinds of diseases. We've come across cholesterol, sugar, diabetes, and many other diseases of the heart, liver. Sometimes a patient gets cured by taking only one tablet, whereas some other patients need to take medicine for months or even years. Similarly, a patient approaching the stall of Tawizat Attariyyah or Adi Attariyyah may be cured only by making one dam, and some other may take some weeks or months to get cured. In any case, we should not give up the cure. However, one should be cautious before he approaches an exorcist, as some exorcists may cause harm instead of bringing benefit. As we rely on effectiveness of the medicine prescribed by doctors, we should also have a perfect belief in the Tawizat, many spiritual cures, and urads, wazaifs, suggested by Sharia, following exorcists. If we do so, we may soon be blessed with the cure. In order to know about various spiritual cures and invocations, buy the Sajra Aliyah, Urad Attariyyah, and a booklet of Amir Ahl Sunnat, Damat Barakatum Aliyah. 40 spiritual cures from any branch of Maktabatul Madina, meaning the Islamic bookshop. In the Madani environment of Dawateislami, a global and non-political and Quran and Sunnah preaching the movement, Madani kafilas of the devotees of Prophet continue to travel, scented with fragrance of Madani ina'amat, meaning nekamal, that also makes other fragrant. You should also become a traveler of the divine path and pray for a solution for your problems and cure for your disease. During the Madani Qafila, your sadness will be replaced with happiness, and by means of divine help, Inshallah ta'ala, presented here 19 faith refreshing parables. Let's listen to them and persuade others to do the same. You might have come across other people who are, mashallah, by a dua, by a supplication, by a dam, by a tawizat, has been cured. Everybody has their own stories. So I'll mention a few, inshallah, and see how we can encourage other people to do the right thing, inshallah. A man stated that a dangerous jinn would frighten my daughter. Sometimes he would appear in front of me and say, "Marry your daughter to me and take as much as wealth as you wish in return." Extremely petrified, I contacted many exorcists. They came to my house and recited something. But it seems that jinns was also Amil. He would hang the exorcist upside down. I had spent thousands of rupees and was very obnoxious. Someone told me to go to Fazani Medina and to get a Tawizat Attariyyah. I went there and informed them about my problem. They gave me a Tawizat to wear and to hang. Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jal, I used the Tawizat Attariyyah as was advised. After a couple of days, when the jinn returned, he did not come near by the blessings of Tawizat, but said from a distance, "Remove this Tawiz. Where did you get it from?" While standing and pointing towards the Tawizat which I hung, he recited something to remove it or to eliminate its effect, but he failed to do so. Alhamdulillah, for a couple of days, the dangerous jinns kept coming, trying to remove the Tawizat, but eventually he disappeared by the blessings of this Uradi Attariyyah, meaning Tawizat Attariyyah. Alhamdulillah, now we are completely free from problems. So there are many, my dear Islam brothers, waqia, parables that have taken place. But unfortunately nowadays we come across, even in the continent of Pakistan, India, and in the Arab, some parts of the country, that people seek advice from different amils, peers, and these kind of peers don't even be following the Sharia, and they seek advice from them. They do certain amals and they get stuck with them. So sometimes a person might come to you and might say to you, start reciting Surah Jinn for 40 days, right? And once you did it for 40 days, you did it with the intention of gaining this jinn, right? You did a chilla. Now that jinn is going to be stuck for you for the rest of your life. The person who instructed you to do it, the amal, he's going to get in control from you. So be careful who you take your wazaifs of, what kind of advice you are taking. Yeah? And I like to relate another story, that there was a person who had this field of, he was an amil, basically had the field of capturing jinns. And what he would do is, he would do a chilla every year round for 40 days with the ijazat of his sheikh. He came into the bargah of his sheikh and he said to his sheikh that, "Give me ijazah to do a chilla for 40 days so I can have another powerful jinn." The sheikh ignored him. For the second time he said it again to him. Do a chilla, I want to do a chilla to capture another jinn. But the sheikh never spoke. And then he said it for the third time. The sheikh, he was full of anger and he said to his murid, "For 40 years you have spent on capturing jinns. If you spend 40 years reciting Durood and Salam upon the beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this time you would become a wali Allah. You have wasted your life in capturing jinns. For what reason? Why are you seeking help from jinns when you are supposed to be supplicating to Allah Almighty?" Yeah, look what happens. Your supplication, when intended, should be done for, asking Allah. But you are diverted in asking a jinn for help to do your work. Jinns, you have destroyed their iman as well. So when you've captured a jinn, the jinn is thinking, look at this human. He's thinking that I am powerful, that I can do all these things. Right? When he starts doing these things by the instruction of that human, his iman also goes as well. Yeah? So we have to be careful that we don't approach such amils that have jinn control. And they can show you these things happen. They might show you a little thing that you might get impressed. Don't get impressed by it. Yeah? And we like to see miracles, don't we, sometimes? And look at Amir Ahl Sunnah Damat Barakatuh Ma'aliyah. And their miracle, if you ask, if you see the interviews that are taken on Madani channel, what happens? They say, look, Amir Ahl Sunnah Damat Barakatuh Ma'aliyah have changed gangsters, have changed drug dealers, have changed people who committed sins all their life towards Islam, towards the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Now, as I was coming towards the masjid, like I said, there's amils everywhere. Yeah? And we see there's drug dealers everywhere as well. There was a person who was just dealing drugs on the streets, and he was actually just giving some drugs to someone. So before I was coming to Jummah, I approached him. I said, are you a Muslim? He goes, no, I'm a Christian. I said, why are you selling drugs? He goes, that's the only job I have. I've applied in different jobs. I don't want to do this job. So I said, who's asked you to do this job? Why are you doing it? Do you want to spend the rest of your life in prison? He said, no, I don't. I said, I've spoken to other drug dealers who sit in the car and smoke away, puff away, right? I said, why are you wasting your time in a car where you could have, you could get married, have a family, have a nice job, than wasting time with these things that you are doing. Now we're getting these brothers I was sitting with the brother yesterday, visited the house, and he deals with, mental children, and these children are addicted on drugs, right? They're smoking vapes, and these vape, nowadays, you know what it is? Children can't buy vapes from the shop because you have to be over 18. What these drug dealers are doing now, they're actually buying vapes from the shops and selling it to youngsters at school. And they're making money from it. So how can we stop this, my dear Islam brothers? We've got fitna everywhere. So just to give you this advice, alhamdulillah, may Allah Azza wa Jal give us ability to correct ourselves. And, try, if you have any illnesses and you're struggling, visit the Attariyyah. Visit Bradford and get a spiritual cure. Then having all these medications. Sometimes someone's done something on you. Sometimes it's evil eye. And when you go for a blood test, they check all your blood tests, you're all clear. What's happening? I'm still ill though. I'm giving my bloods, I'm not getting any results, everything's clear. What could it be? Then get your istikhara done. There's a number at the back, get your istikhara done and see what's affecting you. It could be an evil eye. And then reciting 4 verses of the Quran, which is Surah Kafirun, Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Falak, Surah Wan-Nas on a regular basis in the morning and in the night. This is a cure for your evil eye. And there's certain verses of the Quran that you can recite that can remove that evil eye. And another thing that you can do is in the Madri Pansura, is performing 4 Nafal Salatul Hajat. It's like you're asking help from Allah Almighty. Once you perform that, in the first rakat you'll recite what? Surah Al-Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi 3 times, right? You'll go into the second rakat, then you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Ikhlas once. In the third rakat, you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, after Salah, before Salah, Surah Al-Fatiha, and Surah Falak, and then the fourth rakat, you'll recite Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Wan-Nas. And then you'll make a supplication in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal, right? And give some sadaqah, some charity that is your hasiyat. Now you might go to an army, it might tell you to do donate a black bakara, so we can slaughter it and we can do your ilaj. Now we get these kind of people as well. Giving you specific animals, we'll do this, and just to get money out of your pocket. I've come across people in Halifax who've gone into Bradford, right? And they're meeting different people and they're charging £800 to do a spiritual cure on them. They're wasting their money. Even TV channels as well. There was a lady in Manchester who spent $4,000 on a TV channel. Nothing happened. And she went to a Tawizat Basta. She goes, only if I knew about the Tawizat, this was all free. And my problem on my household is gone as well. But I wasted $4,000. So just be careful who you talk to. Seek some right advice and approach the right people. Inshallah, you'll be safe. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.